Welcome in to another long-awaited edition of 23ABC's Icebreakers. I'm now joined with Condors' newest player, although he has been with Edmonton before, and that's Adam Cracknell. Adam, thank you so much for joining me virtually.
Thank you for having me.
I want to start with the question a lot of hockey fans always love to hear. Why hockey? Why was that the sport that you chose?
Grew up in Saskatchewan, obviously very cold in the winters, and a lot of friends played hockey. We had a rink in my backyard and fell in love with it then, and had to make a choice around 13 or 14 if hockey was going to be the one I wanted to pursue. It was either baseball or hockey, so chose hockey.
What is your favorite part about the sport?
I think like the competition, if you want to really get into it, and the atmosphere, obviously with the fans and everything, but just the people you get to meet too around the sport, the travel, you get to see a lot of North America, and last year I was in China, so I mean it takes you to a lot of places.
And speaking of that, so being a bit of a journeyman, traveling around not only in the league, but just there getting a chance to play in China, what's been your favorite country or particular city that you've been able to play in?
I think they're all different. I mean, California is nice because of the weather. But I think every city I played in was unique in its own way. I think going to Beijing, playing in Beijing in KHL was such a great experience just to go overseas. That was my first time doing that. So I think that was a really fun experience for my family and myself, and got to see a lot of history and a lot of Russia and many other countries along the way. So I think it was a lot of fun, but I think Dallas might have been my favorite with the NHL. It was my most successful year, but I had a lot of fun playing.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you. 15-year professional, what's the year you're going to remember the most as of your career right now in playing hockey?
That's a tough one. I think every year is different. Obviously, you meet so many great guys, have great friends and relationships through everything. I think I'll just remember the times in the dressing room with the guys, just having fun in the mornings and going out and having practice or road trips, playing cards, anything like that. Just kind of being around the team and just the atmosphere with fans again. I mean, that's why you play. It's a great time. It's a great experience, and hopefully I could stick around the game a lot longer if it's in coaching or anything like that. Just want to stay involved in the game.
Very cool. And obviously this year, especially here in the States, there's not going to be fans in many of these arenas. So a big part of hockey is going to be missed out on this year. But I want to know, what's been the craziest fan experience you've ever had, or someone that you remember from a game?
I haven't had any personal crazy fan things at all, but I think there's atmospheres especially in playoffs. It's just like when I was in the NHL, we played 2 series, one versus LA and one versus Chicago. I think just the intensity of everything and how excited everybody was. You had no problem getting excited for the game, and if it was home or away, it was just a different kind of adrenaline and an experience. So I think that would be that'd be my coolest experience, I guess, is playoff hockey. It's fun at any level, really.
Yeah, it was fun to experience that a couple seasons ago here with the AHL. It was a fun time in Condors Town. So, favorite sports movie? I'm assuming you've seen a few, hopefully. What's your favorite of all time?
My favorite what, sorry?
Sports movie.
Sports movie? I like Major League Baseball or Slapshot. Those are comical, but obviously, good movies for me anyways. I like them.
Guys always give hockey answers usually. So, this is a big debate. I really don't know if it actually is, but it could be in the hockey world. Best food, Canadians or Americans?
Best food. I'm a big Texas Roadhouse fan, so that we got one here in Bakersfield I've been attending a couple times. But best food, I guess it all depends on where you are. I'd say States for sure.
Awesome. And it's the rolls, right? At Texas Roadhouse?
Yeah, that's what I go for.
Best ever. What was the biggest shock for you moving to Bakersfield?
Finding a place to live. Apparently that's a difficult task to do around here, but no real shocker. Everyone's been the organization's been very helpful in that aspect, and obviously it's been great to play with some fans, because I remember coming here with San Diego and back when I played in the East Coast, when the Condors were in the coast, the fans were amazing. So other than that, it's been easy getting around. I like the weather. Shorts and t-shirt every day has been great. Yeah.
I know the hottest question in that locker room is, who is the best golfer that you've witnessed on the squad so far?
Well, I haven't played. Malone's been behind me. I'd say either me or Malone. I'll take a chance at those guys any day. So yeah. There's Malone, and Esposito's been golfing all summer, but he's got a really good short game. But I think I can get him with the long ball. So we have to play a little more heads up, I think, with no strokes, and either me or Malone for sure.
Yeah, people usually say that now that he's the captain, people usually give the captain the credit there on the green. Well, this is always a fun question, but the biggest misconception about hockey players?
Well, that's a tough one. What are the other answers have been?
There's been a few. The teeth, that everyone has missing teeth. That, and take no offense to this, people have said people think hockey players may not be the sharpest tool in the box.
Yeah, my wife tells me that all the time, so I think it's just from all the hits in the head. But yeah, the teeth are, well, you look at a couple of guys, they're missing some teeth, but there's a lot of good businessmen in our team too, who seem like they're running their business. So there's a lot of guys with their heads on straight, but then you meet a couple guys that they're not all there.
I tell people that's sports in general, probably. You get a good mix in any squad.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite part about this team in the short time that you've been with this particular group on the Condors?
We just have good people. I think that's important if you want to have success with an organization. Guys come here to work every day. We know what kind of year it has. Everyone's kind of embraced what it is and what it's supposed to be about. So I know it's only about maybe 40 games or so, and you never know if games are going to get canceled, but everyone's been working hard, getting ready for games when they come. And obviously we want to rebound from last weekend. So it's more about the culture we're creating here, and I want to be a part of that. And it's been a great experience so far.
Yeah, and when you're not playing hockey, and I'm not sure if you did get a lot of time to not play hockey this past year, what's your favorite thing to do off the ice?
Off the ice, I think back home we spend a lot of time at the lake and golfing and just spending time with my family. I have 2 daughters and another one on the way here. So she'll be born here probably in Bakersfield in May. Another girl, so I'm really busy. But it's a lot of family time, because when you're playing hockey, you miss out on a lot of that. So it's been a great time to go take them to preschool, pick them up, and just kind of have real life.
Yeah, well, congratulations to you and your family on the new addition. And talking about just the fact that I can imagine you walk into a locker room with all the experience you have and you're a leader. What's one thing you hope to bring to this team this season as that leader in the squad?
I think just maybe cliche, but just be another piece in the puzzle. I mean, everyone brings something unique, and just want to help out the team win and have success, help out the younger guys that it's their first year. If they have, kind of show them how we show up to practice every day. We have great leadership in this dressing room with experience and young guys. So, and there's a few players here that'll be making the jump to Edmonton anytime soon here. So we want to make sure that they're ready and help them out any way we can. So by pushing them every day to be ready, and game time, make sure that we're being successful and doing the right things to make sure that those guys can make the jump to the National Hockey League. With
all the time off and just in general, a lot of reflection in this past year with the pandemic, what's something you've learned during this time that you're going to bring not only to the ice, but to this team?
I mean, you never know when hockey can end, especially for myself. I'm kind of on the tail end of everything, and not getting any younger at 35. So want to help bring with my experience and talk to guys and help them out that hockey is not going to last forever. So hopefully they can help out with that, and kind of enjoy every day you're at the rink and playing, because it's there's a lot of guys, especially with COVID now, that don't have jobs and aren't playing, and who knows what's going to happen. So we have to be, we're very fortunate to be in the position that we're in right now. For sure. And you said Slapshot is one of your favorite hockey movies, favorite sports movies. If someone was to play you in a movie, which actor or which person would that be? You don't have to go actor if there's someone else you got in mind. Yeah, well, I don't know. I like Bradley Cooper. I'd like him, or yeah, I'd say Bradley Cooper.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put
I'd like to think I'm that good looking, that funny.
That's another thing I will say about a lot of the hockey players I've done this with, just obviously with the Condors, they always pick a really good looking actor. So that maybe says a lot about you guys too.
Yeah, we're very self-confident.
So speaking of confidence, if I could put you back in the hot seat, is there one player or coach you think you could do a good impression of? And can you give us that impression?
Where's this airing?
Just here in Bakersfield.
Ken Hitchcock, we always, he's always known for his high voice. So he'd be like, "What are you doing, Cracks? You gotta get off, get the puck in, get off the ice. You're not supposed to be out there. Get off." I don't know. I'm sure there's a little more choice words I could use, but if it's a kid-friendly show, it's as best as I can do. But he's always a high-pitched voice, and it just, you knew that was the guy that was yelling at you. You couldn't miss it.
And it's motivating, right?
Sometimes.
So obviously I'm a sports broadcaster, you're a professional hockey player. If we could switch jobs and you could get into the television industry, what would you want to do?
If I'd like to do sports. I think I would like to do, I don't know how good I'd be at sports commentary, but I would like to be in the game at some level, but maybe just a color guy, because that's a little easier than being full-time guy.
Yeah, we'll leave all the heavy lifting to Holtzy over there, right?
Exactly. He's always sweating. He's working so hard around here. I'd hate to have his job.
Hardest worker in Bakersfield.
Yeah, hardest worker. Yeah, you name it after him.
Right. So if you weren't playing though out in any industry or whatever you want to be doing, what would you want to be doing?
I'd like to sports. I mean, golf would be
anything, really anything.
Golf would have been great. I don't have the temperament to or the patience to be that good, but if I was able to be a professional golfer, I would love to do that.
Yeah, and I know you've had quite a few teammates in your career, but if you know the guys well enough already on the Condors, if you were stranded on an island, who would you bring and why?
Maybe Brad Malone. If we have a couple beers on there, it'd be a good time to hang out. But yeah, I think he's pretty relaxed. He's a good guy. He's a nice, good person to hang out with. He's pretty easy temperament, so he'd be the guy you want to be stranded on an island with. And hopefully, him being an outdoorsman, we'd survive.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, what would you bring? But I think you already hinted at what you would be bringing. A six-pack?
Well, we'd probably need more than that, but yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And outside of hockey, what's your favorite sport to watch?
I've been getting into football over the last couple of years, just playing out in the States. You get used to that. So I don't mind watching football. Yeah, probably football, I'd say, because it's entertaining. It's, we watched the Super Bowl this past weekend. It's a lot of fun to watch. It's amazing how good those athletes are for how big they are.
Yeah, and if there's any sport that you look up to in terms of being like a sports mentor to you, who would that be?
Anyone I've played with, or just kind of
anyone? Yeah, whether as a young kid or just anyone you've played with.
Steve Yzerman was always someone I looked up to when I was younger, and I was fortunate enough to play with the Sedin brothers in Vancouver. They were just great people, great leaders, and I think they impacted my career a lot more than they know. So the Sedins were probably some of the biggest impact players I've played with, just as people too.
Yeah, and this is interesting for you because, again, you've been on a few teams, but maybe even before that in your childhood, what was your favorite NHL team?
Detroit Red Wings, just because of Steve Yzerman. Yeah, that was the only reason. He could have played on any team, but I was a big Steve Yzerman fan.
And I know this is going to be a tough question for you, but first thing that comes to mind when I ask you what your favorite hockey moment has been ever since you started hockey, where does your mind go to?
First NHL game. I think it was in Detroit. I was with St. Louis, and it was in Joe Louis Arena. Hit the post first shift coming off the bench, and It was actually Nicholas Lidstrom's first career hat trick game, so that was something to watch. It was a team I always looked up to, and they had a lot of great players with Datsuk, Zetterberg, and Lidstrom there. So the list goes on with the team that was there that year. So that was my favorite moment. I had my parents there, and my best friend was there too, but he was a Detroit Red Wings fan, so he got to enjoy it. He was winning no matter what that night.
That's awesome. And just to make us all feel a little bit normal, what's been maybe your worst memory on the ice or a funny moment that you've had in your career?
Worst moment, I broke my ankle 10 games into my pro career. I was out for 3 months, and luckily I was playing in Las Vegas with the Wranglers in the East Coast, so it was easy to keep distracted while I was there. But that was probably my worst moment, because just coming into pro hockey thinking that I was going to get back up, hopefully, to the American Hockey League, ended up breaking my ankle, and that was the toughest part.
Okay. Well, we've come to the end. I have my last question for you. Hopefully this doesn't throw you for a loop, but the name of this segment is called Icebreakers. If you had to break the ice with somebody, what would be your icebreaker? It always throws everyone. It could be anyone. It could be on the team. It could be meeting someone for the first time. It could be breaking ice here in Bakersfield.
I mean, Tom Brady. I'd like to break the ice with Tom Brady.
So you say, I said, what would you say?
Oh, what would I say?
But let's play out that scenario. So Tom Brady, he's in front of you. How would you break that ice?
Well, I'd probably be nervous. I probably wouldn't say anything. I'd be, I don't know. I'd just be like, how'd you do it all these years? Like, what's your mindset? How do you stay so good and stay focused? How did you just do it? Like, you're over 40 and you're winning Super Bowls and you're still elite. Like, how do you do that?
You're gonna give it to him straight, but I will tell you, I've heard it's cutting out sugar.
Oh, yeah.
He's cut out a lot of things. The man has a crazy diet.
I like Dairy Queen and all the treats, so I still got to live my life.
Yeah, that's why we like hockey players. They don't worry about that stuff.
Yeah, I'll burn it off tomorrow.
Awesome, Adam. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and wish you the best of the luck this season.
Yeah, thank you very much.